When things start working, the shift is unmistakable. Effort begins converting into momentum. What once required pushing starts moving on its own. Responses come back faster. Opportunities appear with less chasing. Money, visibility, invitations, forward motion, they begin to cluster instead of arriving one at a time. From the outside, this looks like success. From the inside, it feels like acceleration. This is the expansion phase of the cycle. Expansion is not the reward at the end of effort. It's what happens when intention, action, and timing briefly align. Energy increases. Pace increases. Stakes increase. Life starts moving toward you instead of staying at a distance. And this is where many people are caught off guard. Because expansion doesn't register as I'm winning. It registers as more is happening than before. More sensation, more input, more exposure, more responsibility, more unpredictability. The nervous system doesn't evaluate success symbolically. It evaluates it physiologically. It asks one question: can I tolerate this level of movement without bracing? As momentum increases, the body has more to process at once. Decisions matter more. Visibility increases. There's more to manage. More eyes. More consequence. Even positive change carries intensity. This is why opportunity can feel destabilizing. Why money can create pressure instead of relief. Why visibility can trigger contraction instead of confidence. Nothing is wrong with the desire. Nothing is wrong with the opportunity. Expansion is simply placing a higher load on the system than effort ever did. Effort is familiar. It narrows the field. It limits exposure. It keeps the body oriented toward control. Momentum does the opposite. It opens the field. It removes buffers. It brings life closer, faster, and with fewer filters. In effort, the system feels busy but contained. In expansion, the system feels open. And openness is vulnerable. This is why success often feels dangerous before it feels stable. As momentum builds, old survival patterns surface. Not as thoughts, but as sensations. Urgency, tightening when attention increases. Pressure to manage or secure what's moving. These aren't self-sabotaging impulses. They're protective reflexes. The body is encountering a scale of experience it hasn't learned how to hold yet. Expansion reveals the edge of capacity. It shows where the system learned to associate more with risk. This is why people unconsciously slow things down. They hesitate. They overthink. They create friction. Not because they don't want success, but because the body is trying to reduce load. The cycle isn't breaking here. It's speaking. Expansion asks a different question than effort ever did. Not, how badly do you want this? But, can you stay regulated while this moves toward you? This is the moment where momentum either integrates or triggers contraction. And how this moment is met determines what happens next.
As expansion continues, the body begins to register something subtle but important. What first felt like excitement starts to carry an edge. The nervous system shifts from openness into monitoring. Attention sharpens. Scanning increases. Vigilance quietly replaces ease. This shift isn't psychological. It's physiological. Success increases nervous system demand because it increases exposure. When things are small or contained, the system can relax into predictability. When things grow, the body has to track more variables at once. More information, more at stake, less margin for error. Exposure means being seen. Exposure means being affected. Exposure means consequences travel faster. The nervous system treats increased exposure as survival relevant. It doesn't distinguish between positive and negative attention. It measures intensity, speed, and unpredictability. Expansion increases all three. This is why success can feel activating even when nothing is wrong. The system isn't celebrating. It's preparing. It narrows focus, heightens awareness, moves into readiness. Physiologically, this shows up as vigilance. Breath becomes shallower. The body leans forward. The mind starts running scenarios. The urge to stay on top of things increases. This isn't fear of failure. It's fear of being unprotected. In expansion, buffers disappear. Things move faster. There's less time to recover, less room to hide. Visibility is no longer optional. Responsibility is no longer hypothetical. The body senses this immediately. Even pleasure can become overstimulating when it arrives at scale. This is why people say, I should feel happy, but I feel on edge. The excitement is real. So is the increased demand. The nervous system is working harder to keep the field open. Exposure isn't a concept. It's an embodied state. More interaction, more consequence, more requirement for regulation. When capacity hasn't caught up, the system compensates by becoming alert. Vigilance is the bridge between openness and contraction. It's the system saying, stay ready. When vigilance is misread as a problem, people try to think their way out of it. Reassurance, affirmation, control. But vigilance isn't a belief. It's a load response. The cycle isn't asking for reassurance. It's asking for regulation. This phase isn't about eliminating vigilance. It's about recognizing it as a signal. Expansion has crossed into exposure. Something real is happening. The body knows it. How this exposure is met, with presence or with pressure, determines whether expansion stabilizes or turns into threat.
When success first lands, there's often a brief sense of relief. Something worked. Pressure eases just enough for the system to register. This helped. And then something shifts. Relief doesn't settle into safety. It slides into alertness. The nervous system starts scanning for what might disrupt this new position. Attention tightens. The body prepares. This is where anxiety often enters. Not because success is unwanted, but because success removes distance. In struggle, expectations are low. Outcomes are predictable. The body knows how to brace. In success, the terrain changes. There's more to maintain, more to protect, more to potentially lose. The nervous system responds automatically. Hypervigilance appears as awareness without rest. The system stays lightly activated, as if waiting for something to go wrong. Small changes feel significant. Minor fluctuations draw disproportionate attention. Bracing follows. Muscles carry tension. The chest tightens. The system prepares to contain impact. Even positive momentum is met with readiness, not relaxation. Overthinking emerges as an attempt to regain control. Scenarios run. Decisions are checked. Outcomes are forecast. This isn't a lack of trust. It's an effort to manage exposure. Thinking becomes a stand-in for regulation. These responses aren't mistakes. They're survival strategies. The nervous system learned long ago that expansion can precede threat. That visibility can invite judgment. That momentum can attract instability. Whether those patterns are still true doesn't matter. The body responds from stored experience, not current logic. This is why success often doesn't feel safe at first. For the nervous system, safety isn't about positive results. It's about predictability and capacity. If success arrives faster or at a scale the system can't yet hold, anxiety is a rational response. The system is asking, can this last? And more importantly, can I stay regulated if it does? When these responses are misunderstood, people try to eliminate them. They suppress anxiety, override tension, push forward to prove they're ready. But pushing doesn't increase capacity. It increases load. The cycle isn't failing here. It's revealing something precise. Success is showing where regulation hasn't yet caught up with momentum. The body is asking for time, for support, for presence, so it can learn that this level of expansion is survivable. When these signals are listened to, capacity can grow. Safety can form from the inside out. When they're ignored, success starts to feel like pressure. Momentum becomes exhausting. Expansion turns into threat. This phase isn't about fixing anxiety. It's about understanding why it appears. Success doesn't feel dangerous because something is wrong. It feels dangerous because the body is learning how to live where it has never been before. The most important moment in this phase is not when fear appears. It's when fear is misinterpreted. When expansion activates threat, the system often assumes something has gone wrong. Fear is taken as evidence that momentum is unsafe, that success was premature, or that retreat is required. This misunderstanding is what turns expansion into self-sabotage. Threat does not mean stop. Threat means pay attention. The nervous system isn't asking for reversal. It's asking for recognition. When fear is named without judgment, without rushing to fix it or push past it, the system gains space to reorganize. Awareness changes the trajectory. Noticing threat doesn't require collapsing into it. You can feel activation and stay present. Sense tightening without bracing. Feel fear without letting it decide your next move. This is the difference between being overwhelmed by expansion and learning how to hold it. Expansion destabilizes when it's resisted or denied. Ignored fear escalates. Fought fear hardens. But when fear is acknowledged, it often softens on its own. This is how expansion is metabolized. Metabolizing expansion means letting the body update what it knows to be survivable. The nervous system learns, through direct experience, that more can move through without collapse. This doesn't happen through reassurance or positive thinking. It happens through presence, by staying with sensation long enough for the response to complete. When expansion is met with awareness instead of control, things begin to shift. Breath deepens. Muscles release readiness. Vigilance becomes orientation. The body registers. I'm still here. Nothing bad is happening. This is how capacity grows. Self-sabotage isn't an impulse to destroy success. It's an attempt to reduce load. When expansion feels too intense, slowing down or pulling back is the system protecting itself. Understanding this removes the need to fight it. The cycle doesn't require suppressing fear. It requires relationship with it. When fear is included rather than resisted, expansion stabilizes. Momentum becomes sustainable. Success feels less like exposure and more like inhabitation. This phase isn't about forcing confidence. It's about letting the body catch up to what's already happening. When expansion is felt, named, and integrated, the nervous system learns something essential. This level of life is survivable. And from that learning, the cycle is able to continue.